The TFSA and the RRSP are both great ways to save money in taxes. If you're starting to save money or you already have some savings, you're probably asking yourself, where should I deposit my money, in a TFSA or an RRSP? In this video, I'm going to describe each, and I'm also going to recommend when it makes more sense to deposit in one versus the other. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Julien, Regoli, CPA, CMA, finance coach. My purpose is to help people gain control of their finances so they can reach financial freedom more rapidly. If you're anxious about your money situation or you just want to optimize your money situation, I can help you. Subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button, and you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. Thanks in advance for watching. So where do you put your money, in a TFSA or an RRSP? Before we get into that, it's important to note the similarities and the differences. Here are some of the differences between TFSA and the RRSP. In the case of an RRSP, when you deposit money, you get a tax benefit, you get a tax break. And the catch is that when you take money out, usually at retirement, you pay taxes when you take money out. In the case of a TFSA, there is no tax benefit when you put money in, and there is no tax charge when you take money out. In the case of a TFSA, you can pretty much take money out whenever you want. It's like a key advantage of a TFSA is you can replenish it. So you take money out one year, you can put the money back as of the following calendar year. In the case of an RRSP, you can't do that. There are some exceptions, but it's usually restrictive when it comes to putting money back in. So here's the key question. Do you deposit in your TFSA or do you deposit in your RRSP? If you have enough savings, deposit the max in both because these accounts are amazing and they offer amazing advantages. They shelter your investment income from taxes, and they're great ways for you to save money fast and fast track to financial freedom. But maybe your reality is that you just don't have enough savings to contribute the maximum. So here's a rule of thumb. If you're not earning a lot of money relative to your lifetime earning potential, for example, you're fresh out of school, you got your first job, you're not earning a big salary relative to how much you're going to be earning in the future, and you're on a lower tax bracket, it makes sense in that scenario to contribute to your TFSA. Another example is if you're a professional and you decide to go back to school and you're part-time, you're working part-time, you're going to school part-time. So relative to your earning potential, you're not earning as much as usual. So in those scenarios, it makes sense to put money into your TFSA. And in the meantime, what happens is you're still building room in your RRSP room, because remember, it's 18% of your taxable income. So you let that room grow, and then when you get to your full potential, when you get to the highest tax bracket, then it makes sense to contribute to your RRSP. And say you have some money saved in the TFSA, you have no other savings, and you have a lot of RRSP room, and you're in that highest tax bracket and you're at that maximum earning potential, then maybe you want to look into withdrawing some money from your TFSA and contributing to your RRSP to trigger that tax benefit. Remember that when you withdraw from your TFSA, you're not taxed, and remember that you can always replenish your TFSA as of the following calendar year. So you might want to take a look at that strategy if you're in that scenario. So folks, how are we doing so far? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know your situation. Are you just starting off your savings, or did you just get that first job and you're starting to earn money? Are you a professional and earning at your highest earning potential? Are you soon retiring? Are you retired? Let me know your situation. Also, I have a TFSA versus RRSP checklist. You can access it by clicking on the link below the video. In this checklist, you can see when it makes sense to put money in a TFSA, when it makes sense to put in RRSP. It's just a recap of this video, so take a look at that. It'll help you out. So we spoke about deposits. Now what about withdrawals? As a general rule, I don't recommend you take money out of these accounts unless it's from one to the other, like we discussed before. For the simple reason is that these accounts are your future, they're your retirement money, and if you take money out of these accounts, it's really borrowing from your future, so try to avoid that. But sometimes life circumstances are such that you absolutely need cash, and if you have no other access to cash anywhere else, and you absolutely need to withdraw from one of these accounts, choose the TFSA. The simple reason is that when you take money out of the TFSA, you're not taxed, and also you can always add money back. You can always replenish as of the following calendar year. Whereas the RSP, if you take money out, you're taxed, and you can't add the money back. Here's some other pointers, folks. So if you have some safe interest-bearing investments like bonds, GICs, those are better off in the RRSP, and if you have more aggressive investments such as stocks, those are better in your TFSA account. So here's an example. You have scenario 1, which has the safe investments in the TFSA and the aggressive in an RRSP. So interest income, safe investment, $10,000, capital gains of $50,000 in the RRSP. Tax rate is 30%. It doesn't change. It's not account related. Taxes when you take money out. Well, TFSA is not taxed. When you take that money out of the RRSP, you're going to be taxed $15,000. 50,000 times 30%. Scenario 2, you've got the safe investment in the RRSP and the aggressive in the TFSA. It's the opposite of the scenario 1. So interest income is now in the RRSP, and the capital gains are now in the TFSA at a 30% tax rate. You're not taxed in the TFSA. You're taxed in the RRSP withdrawal, $3,000. So here's the difference, right? So scenario 2, you pay $3,000 of taxes versus $15,000 in scenario 1. That's why it's better to put aggressive investments in the TFSA and the safe investments in the RRSP TFSA account. Also, if you own foreign stocks that generate dividends, usually those there's a 15% withholding tax on that dividend unless it's in your RRSP account. So those kinds of investments should be in your RRSP account. At retirement, the government's going to require you to withdraw a minimum from your RRSP. My recommendation is you withdraw the minimum from your RRSP, and the cash balance you need comes from your TFSA. So this way you minimize the taxes that you pay at retirement. If you have any questions or comments, or there are other topics you'd like me to cover, then leave a comment below the video. Don't forget to download your TFSA versus RRSP checklist by clicking on the link below, like in the description of the video. If you like the video, click the like button and subscribe to my channel, because there's more upcoming videos on these types of topics, and hit the bell. You'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. Folks, thanks for your time today, and we'll see you real soon.